Basically, I'm going to talk about digital reading, some tools and outreach that you can use to foster literacy success. Next slide. So basically what I'm going to talk about today are, first of all, content bundles. Number 2, simultaneous use magazines and comics. Comics we just got this year in our district, Oshkosh Area School District, because kids love comics. Graphic novels, they love them. Like if you look at our checkout from our library, most of it is the graphic novels. How many of you are at the high school level? Anybody at the high school level? Middle school? Elementary? Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about, the nice thing about this is it's simultaneous use magazines and comics. I'm going to talk about in-app public library access, and then how you can promote Sora's ebooks with Chrome Sign Builder. So what is Sora and why should you even care? I just went online and found this is what some kids said about Sora. I mean, look, that's what she said. You know, they're the ones, you know, who we do this for. So she's like, I read more than ever. I can download it. I don't need a book. I don't have to go to the library. Now, I'm a librarian. I'm not saying I don't want kids in the library. I love kids in the library. But if they're going to read wherever, that's even better. Okay? So what is Sora? Basically, Sora works with Overdrive. And Overdrive is a digital library of ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, and, you know, like I said, comics, right? And then Sora is the user-friendly app that you use to access Overdrive. So what you can do as a teacher is you can say, hey kids, we are going to, we're going to study some books, and here's the content bundle that I want you to choose from. And basically all it is, it's like a book list. It's like, okay kids, here's our unit that we're going to study, and these are all the books that you can read, okay? But it's limited to you and your students, which is really nice. So content bundles can be used inside and outside of the classroom, which is really cool. They can be used to build classroom libraries. How many of you have classroom libraries right now, like physical classroom libraries? Like I had a huge one, and it's really hard to maintain. With Sora, it's easy, okay? So classroom libraries, curriculum libraries, topic or theme sets. How many of you make topic or theme sets right now? Yep, okay. So this will help you with that. Multi-book assignments. How many of you do multi-book assignments? Yep, okay. Virtual book bins, this really is what this is. And then you can create special collections that are only available to specific classes, clubs, etc. And you can also do professional development with this, which is awesome. I did that last year. Basically, bundles allow you to maximize your classroom time. You don't have to say, hey, Miss Librarian, Mrs. Morrill, can we come to the media center and check out books during this day? And then the kids have to tromp on down to the library, and then they have to look for books, and then this doesn't really, I can't find the book that I want, blah, blah. It saves time. It provides consistency and level planning. Say if you teach sophomore English and you have this put together, you can save it, share it with the other sophomore teacher, which is awesome. And you won't have the kids saying, I don't know what to read, because really, it's in the bundle, okay? Next slide. So how does it really work? It's hard for me to read it from here, but basically, you just reserve the titles, okay? You create those bundles, you claim the bundles, and then you share an access code with your kiddos. And you say, hey kiddos, here's where you go, and here's how you can download your book and read it at any time with Sora, which is fantastic, okay? Next slide. This is what I'm super, super excited for, is we just got magazines. And simultaneous use magazines are so awesome, because how many of you have ever used Flipster? Have you ever heard of Flipster? You're super expensive, and you pay for like certain number of magazines, right? Maybe you'll get 10 or 50 or whatever, and then the price goes up and up depending on how many you get. With these, there's 75 magazines, okay? And it's unlimited. And I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite thing about this is, well, okay, I'm a librarian, so I buy books. So to buy books, I need to figure out what books I'm going to buy. So I buy Book List. Does anybody here buy Book List? Does anybody here buy Book List? It's a magazine, you subscribe to it. It's $75 for a subscription. Book List is included in here. That saves me $75 just like that, okay? So there's no wait list. Like I said, 75 magazines, wonderful. And basically, what you want to do is say, I want to go in here and I want to look at ebooks, I want to look at audiobooks, I want to look at magazines. You can just go in there under your preferences and choose what it is that you want to see, and that's how you can find them. So the other cool thing is, sometimes, unfortunately, our libraries are limited by funding, right? With Sora, you can add the public library that's close to you onto your Sora. What that means is that your kiddos, if they have a public library card, okay, they can access the library books there digitally as well as yours, okay? So they all of a sudden, you gave your kids, I don't know, I think I have 15,000 books in my library. All of a sudden, I've multiplied that by 3, 4, 5, 10, right? As far as like getting kids to read, it's fantastic. And these are really quickly just the directions on how to add that library. So all of this is right in here. That's why I wanted to give this to you so you can take this with you if you decide to go this route. Next slide. So the benefits to adding libraries are, you have access to more books, like I said, instant access. The disadvantages, unfortunately, you do need a library card. However, with the whole COVID thing, one good thing that came out of that is our library, public library, came up with a way that kids could apply for a library card online. So they don't have to go there, because some of our kids, economically, that's a difficulty for them. So that need not be a disadvantage. So promoting Sora. One thing that I did was I bought a bunch of these screens like this, and I bought a Chromebox, and I hooked them up to Google Sign Builder, Chrome Sign Builder. And basically what that means is you can take a Google presentation and you can schedule it to run on these screens wherever you want to put them. So I have 3 of them right now, and I just purchased 4 more that are going to be going up around the school. So when I want to promote Sora, I can put, hey, check out these new comic books. Check out these new books on Sora, and put those in the slideshows. And they can show all over the school at both of the doors where the kids come and go, right? So now I have them, they have to see it. It's in the study hall. It's the only thing they can see because it's the only 2 screens that are available there. So kids don't have to come to the library then, right, to see what I have to offer. Can you go on monthly screens to promote diversity? This is another way that I use Sora. When I created these screens to promote Sora in our books, I decided, well, each month is going to be for some different diversity. Basically, all this is a link to each month that I had different screens, and you have access to it with your QR code, so we don't have to go to it. That's okay. Oh, here it is. See, here it is. So I decided that, and not only monthly, I decided I liked it so much that I was going to do it every other week. And so these are all the different ways that I promoted different books: African American History Month, focused on technology, Women's History Month, Westerns, national poetry, romance, fantasy, and you can stick those pictures of the covers, like they have here over here, on those slides, and kids can see those. So that's good. And once you have the slides created, of course, you can use them again and again. So this is one of our screens that we have up. That's another of our screens right there. This is where that slideshow will show up. Whatever books you want to promote, if it's the comics, if it's the magazines, and then kids can see that. So the other thing that I really like about this is that for diversity and equity, ELL students sometimes benefit from reading the audiobooks, right? In addition to the paper books, that to help them support their reading and their learning, and it improves their vocabulary. So we had a student in our district from Gambia who basically said, look, I love this because he checked out the book, and then he could also go back to the audio, and it just improved his comprehension and understanding. So for ELL and diversity, there's another thing that's really awesome with Sora. So just want to say thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, or you can ask me right now. Thank you for listening and joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference.